Hey everybody, what's up? Fourth Seraph here. Today I'm going to go through my Robinhood portfolio. Um, Figured it'd be fun to start making these videos. One, because I just love talking about stocks and stuff, and it'll be a good tracker for me too. See how things are doing, give me some insight on how my trades are going. I'm actually going to make a video about kind of all of my first trades and what they were worth if I had kept them till today. I went back through the other day and did a ton of typing and got all my stocks I bought from like 2015 to 2019. So I'm gonna make a video on that later. And it was really insightful for me to see how my trades had done and really how much money I would have had I just kept all that stock. I didn't because I've invested it in other stuff, but I've been building back up all of my investments recently. And so we'll just kind of go through them all one by one here and keep track of everything. We'll skip the options for now and the cryptocurrency. So the first one here is just the AVAX. I got that for free from Robinhood, so it's like $1 worth. You can see it's 0.079. The ETH, this is, I think, my biggest holding still on this account. I have, over the past few months, I switched jobs and took some time off and stuff. So I have sold some. I had 4 at one point. So I've sold about 1.5. This I bought quite a while ago. And so I'm still under my average cost, but this is something that I bought. I originally put in like $5,000 when it was like 2,500, and it's a long-term investment for me. Feel pretty confident it'll go up to like 10K at some point, and that's probably about when I would be looking to sell. So being down a little bit on this one honestly doesn't matter that much to me. Obviously, it's always great to make money and not lose it, but you got to remember, you only lose money when you actually sell a stock that is down. This is just, these numbers are all just potential losses. They're not actually actualized losses. I have not lost any money until I sell at a loss. And it's actually gotten into the positive a couple times over the past few months as there's been spikes and stuff. So I still feel pretty good about it. I just sold some Bitcoin I had because it went up a bit from where I bought it, and I kind of figured it would go back down. So I have a little bit of cash in my account right now as well, like $400 in case Bitcoin drops back down. The next stock I have is probably my favorite one. It was the first stock I ever had because I was gifted some, and it's Accenture. And if you look at pretty much all the numbers, it's pretty hard to find a bad number for Accenture. So it's it's year to date, it's 1 year, it's 5 year are all pretty good, especially for such a big company. It's super safe. Let me see. I honestly never go on the web version. I only use the app for my Robinhood. But its dividend yield is 1.53%. So it's actually pretty good for a stock that has gone up quite a bit over the last 5 years, and especially if you go back looking, in the mid 2000s, then if you'd bought it way back then, you would be looking real good. But it's shown really good growth. And the things that I like about it too are that it's I don't know if it has I have Robinhood Gold. I don't think it has my advanced things, but we'll talk. Oh yeah, here we go. The stewardship exemplary. I added an extra syllable in there. That is a thing that I love to see. I just love these stocks that grow above market average. It's gone up 90%, and then obviously there's dividends in there too. And your money is safe. I don't really like to be super risky with most of the stocks that I buy. The Ethereum, things like that, those are my risky investments. For the most part, I like my stocks to be pretty safe. So the next one is Apple. Again, 5 years, 200%, 1 year, 13%, year to date, 28. It's good. This is a solid stock. A lot of my total returns have gone down recently. One, just because right now the market's in a huge slump, but also recently I upped my investing a lot, and so it's like I had my account was pretty low for a while, and really it's been less than a year since I've been adding to it, and I'm at about 7,000 now. which I'm pretty happy with. But, for a while, like I probably bought some. I think I bought some at like 125 here, but it was like, $20 or something. So compared to my, 1,220 now, my average cost like just gets put to whatever's recently. I also have Tesla, which to me is a safe investment, even though it's a high volatility stock. And the reason is because Tesla makes a great product. Almost everyone in my family has Teslas. They're the best cars you could buy. Tesla should start paying me because I've probably sold more cars than most of the people that work in their showrooms, because I just try and get everyone I know to buy one. Up 17% on it, so not too bad. I think I was up actually way more than that, but it just, again, everything's like, taking this huge drop in the last couple of weeks, obviously, but it's just a good buying opportunity. Another big one I have, Realty Income. Like this stock for a long time. Real estate's taken a huge hit. I've just kind of tried to keep buying all the way down. But this is one that was a bigger holding even before it fell. I definitely bought some at the peak. But again, if you look over the last 5 years, like, even though it looks like it's down a little bit right now, this is probably like its fair market value somewhere around here. Real estate is in a really weird place right now. But, even with businesses changing, not as many people working in offices, things like that, we have such a low amount of real estate compared to what we need. And so real estate stocks I still feel good with. And again, this is a company that's handled their money really well in their portfolio and pays pretty solid dividends. If I had $1 million, I don't think I'd put a full, million in here, but it wouldn't be my biggest holding, but it'd be one of the bigger ones. The reason I've gone so big into this mostly is so I can get 100 shares of it and sell covered calls. And it's one of the cheaper stocks in my portfolio. And so for me, it's made a little more sense to put more into this than I probably would have. I have about $2,200. Some of it's on margin and stuff too. See, my average cost is fairly high because I did a big buy when it was up. I think that was like right around here. Yeah, in like August. Earlier part of this year. But I've been able to buy a decent amount in all of the dips, so that's always good. But again, I think when you look at these even longer term than 5 years, real estate's just been so weird lately that I think you start zooming out 6 or 7 years on that one. Actually, let's just do that. Yeah, like if we go back here, even to 2015, 2014, like how much lower real estate was. And so we're just only, if you only look at the recent times where real estate stocks shouldn't move like that. They should move like this, much, much less crazy. This is, for example, like this right here is 2008 and this is right now. So real estate is in a really crazy place, but historically it's been the safest investment throughout like all time. So not too worried about it. One I bought recently, Phase Energy, which I've always really liked. The world is going solar. Obviously it's had some crazy ups and downs. I think I'm down, a bit on it because all solar stocks just tanked recently, like really hard. But solar is such a valuable industry, and even if we don't move to 100% solar, even if only like 30% of our power was generated with solar, these stocks are going to be worth a fortune. It just to transfer that amount of money into solar. So I'm not super worried about those. Those are pretty long term, probably like a 5-year play. I would be shocked if in 5 years, Enphase and then SunPower is my other solar stock that I have right now. I'd be really surprised if those don't go higher. Impinj, this is a fairly small investment, but I bought some just to see what this would do. This is definitely my most speculative one. They make RFID chips. It's pretty cool technology. They've had a lot of ups and downs. It's still kind of an established startup because they're, what size is there? Their market cap's like 1.6 billion. So a relatively small tech company. I mean, obviously 1.6 is still decent, but I think it could go, as high as 200. So I'm down on this one as well. But again, these are all stocks I've bought recently, and my thing is like if it's going to go up in 3 to 5 years, that's like the minimum time that I'll hold a stock. I don't really do any swing trading or anything like that anymore unless something moves like crazy. Land is another REIT. Again, it like shot up like crazy here for some reason. I think there's just a lot of suspect stuff happening in the real estate game. But I just want to get some dividends, keep buying in. This is just one. I haven't bought any in a while just because I've been like, okay, I want to focus more on getting a lot of income realty. But this is one I'll keep buying, just hold on to, just diversify a little bit more. Never be a crazy holding for me. I have, $200, but just, collect a little bit of dividends, something nice to just hedge my bets a little bit more. And then the classic dividend ETF, SCHD. I'm honestly not crazy about ETFs. I just don't think that they're like as rewarding mentally. And I think the more rewarded you are mentally, the more you'll invest. Like it's hard to want to put all of your money into investments if you're not making money and you don't feel like, oh, this is great. Like seeing boring gains might be better in the long run mathematically. But I would rather be excited to put money into the market, and ETFs don't get me excited. So I don't really do them too much. But this is just a nice, again, little diversification. All of these stocks just have taken a hit, lately. It's been a tough year for investments, but I'm actually really happy because, I've been able to put in a lot of my money when I think stocks have been at a pretty good price. And so, if they're going down, like my year to date is actually still pretty good. Still up 17% for the year. But, when stocks were good, at one point I was up 60%. And, hopefully we'll get back to that. So, I'm not super worried about any of these things. They're just at a temporary loss. That's just part of investing. And then sunpower, which I bought and then at like $5. And then it turns out that they had made some accounting errors and things. And so it took a huge hit. But again, this is a stock that like a year ago was $25, and they're a huge player in the solar game. They make the best solar panels out there, really. Everyone seems to love their product. And so, again, I don't have a lot of fear around this stock, but I mostly bought it, 100 shares of it, just so I could get some experience selling covered calls. So this is one I have right now. This is the second one I did. The first one, I think I sold at 13 cents. I bought it back at 5 just to close it out. And then this one was 24. And it's down 20 now. So made big $4 off of that. But obviously it's pretty cheap. But making okay money off of it, right? And so percentage wise, this isn't going to be my like $5,000 a week covered call strategy. I don't think I have that much interest in making crazy amounts of money doing something like that. But certainly with some stocks, the ones on my portfolio, I can have ones that I'm like, I know I'm so confident in this stock over the next like 10 to 15 years. And then there's ones where I'm like, yeah, this is a really good stock, but like Realty Income, if, I had 100 shares and was selling covered calls and, sell them in the money and it actually hit the strike price and whatever, like I have other things I can put my money in. So I'd still be happy about that. But right now it's not looking like SunPower is going to hit the strike price on any of these calls. But it's nice. I'm, even though the stock is going down, I'm still making a little bit of money selling the covered calls on it. And, making up for some of that difference. And then, once it goes up again here at some point, it'll be looking really good. But, overall, recently the market's just been in a lot of turmoil. I think if we look, at the 3 months, that's where we at, a 13% decline, $1,400. So pretty significant. But, look at that year-to-date one, not too bad. I think, 1 year, I think we're down just a little bit. For a while we were up. Market's in a weird place, but it doesn't, it only has to recover 4%, and I'm up for the year. you know, if I can be up at all on a year, that I think most people would agree has not been the best time to trade stocks. Especially, I haven't been able to like dollar cost average. I've changed jobs a few times and things like that, and so I haven't been able to do all the things that, like, if I was dollar cost averaging, I think I would be up actually quite a bit already this year. So definitely do that if you can. I don't do that really very often, just because I've always been like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, take one paycheck, put a bunch of money in, whatever, and, you know, in the long run it still works out. But yeah, I mean, at a lot of points here we were looking, you know, pretty good for the year, and at some points even really really good for the year. You know, my goal is like, if I can beat the market at all, you know, beat that 10% in a year, then I'll be looking good. And, you know, it's hard because I don't think I can like take the ETH out of this chart. I think if I took that out, I think it'd be looking a lot better. But, you know, also I think next year probably is when Ethereum goes back up, and we'll probably make this chart very pretty, along with a couple of these other stocks, like some of the REITs and stuff, real estate. I think probably in 2024, maybe not until 2025, but it'll be looking pretty good again at that point. And yeah, pretty confident in the long term of these stocks. But I'm gonna try and make you know, updates kind of along the way once there's, you know, something to update. Once I've, you know, been able to buy some shares and stuff. I'm in sales right now, so you know, some months I do well and have money to invest, and some months I don't. But I will definitely try and keep everyone updated on this. But feel free to post questions about anything down below in the comments. I'll try and answer them all if I can. About, you know, if you want more in depth on why I've chosen the stocks, I know I talked about it briefly. But if you want any more info on them, be happy to go more in depth on anything, on my investment strategy, any of the stuff like that. But if not, I will see you guys next time.